Cinebois to Cinnamon, episode 108.
108.
Hope you're well wherever you are, whatever you're doing. This week, backdoor action.
Yes, we have gone against what we said in the previous episode, and we had two options at the end of that one. Hokum and what was the other one? Can't even remember.
Fucking the second version, the fashion film, Devil Wears Prada 2.
Devil Wears Prada 2.
DOS.
Yeah, and we.
Spanish.
I'm gonna have to use that. I'm gonna use that later in the episode. DOS for 2.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing either of them.
I think you should be sort of fairly used to the fact now we are just a perpetual source of disappointment.
Yes.
So,
we're doing Backrooms as is in the title.
Backrooms, yeah, not backdoor action.
Backdoor action. No, that's okay.
I watched that yesterday, but on my own.
Oh, okay. So you have seen Backrooms though. You haven't just watched Backdoor Action.
No.
Backdoor Action on DOS.
I didn't really watch it for long.
15 minutes. Yeah.
And 10 of those minutes was getting to my favourite bit. So.
But the build-up's crucial.
Yeah, you've got to set the scene.
You can't just cut to the chase.
You have to, and you have to watch the end as well. I don't know why.
There you go. It's like a good 3-course meal, but the starter, whilst it's not the best, has to be consumed for the main course.
Same with dessert as well.
Yeah. Keep it
obviously back in the
rooms.
Wank.
Yes.
Room.
Yeah. The studio was a nice little a diversion.
Yeah, I mean, we fell out with them because of Ben's cavalier attitude to podcasting, so never having us back. No, it was a one-off, and it was really kind of them to let us use the space.
Yeah, thanks.
I just kind of obviously, re-watched parts of the episode, or as much as I could stomach of seeing my face in such
visceral detail. Yeah, same.
Painstaking clarity.
Not with you, with me. I was.
Yeah, I was fine, but you looked awful.
I looked like slightly ill. I think it was the
both looked quite red. Didn't we?
Yeah. I tried to get rid of that as much as possible.
It's not how we usually look.
No, basically, the cameras set up have like nice sort of 4K streams, and then you get like a kind of low res version, which is still nice quality, but the color space is baked into it. So stupidly, I was like, I'll just have the proxies, and we look really red as a result. So we said it would be perfect, like a sort of slick version. But
I think it is.
It's good. It looks very, very smart.
We just look perpetually flushed, which I admittedly was at the start, because I don't know if we can, I guess, talk about it now, but that was the first time I've podcasted in front of people.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I think when I watched it back, it was evident, like the first 5 minutes, I was kind of like tentative in my opening remarks.
I think it's okay. I think it sort of blends and flows quite nicely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, that's all that matters, isn't it? Really?
Just me. Yeah.
Yeah, what you think? Yeah. Also, we do actually have an apology to make. So on the YouTube, we had a comment about the Michael Jackson interview.
Really? Oh, okay. This is news to me.
I should have. It just suddenly dawned on me.
No, it's cool. Let's do it.
You're gonna have to watch as I swap from my YouTube account to the Cinebois.
We've gone off script. I'm now really nervous. I've started to redden. Much more akin to previous episodes.
So, apparently I've got it.
Did we make a mistake?
That's not it. I don't know what that is. Right.
That's backdoor action. That one. It's not even YouTube.
Yeah, I keep uploading it, but they keep taking it down. I just don't want to have to do the rigmarole of getting the DVD, putting it in, then taking it out when Georgia comes home in a hurry. Your video.
106, I think. Is it 106? 105.
I was going to say we've got 2 comments, but one of those is my reply. It was Martin Bashir that interviewed MJ, not Krishnan Guru Murthy. Unsubscribed.
Oh, did they say unsubscribed?
It was Jans. I hope he hasn't.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So that's,
I hope it's that Spanish guy saying you're not
you're not worth the bread you're buttered on.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing if it was him again. I miss that guy. So we got that wrong. So apologies to everyone involved.
Bashir. Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jan. Sorry, Martin.
Yeah. Well, got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So Backrooms.
We've just seen it.
Yeah, literally.
Came home from the cinema.
Yeah. Bursting with opinions.
Yeah.
So with the director of the film, Kane Parsons, starting out as a YouTuber, it felt like an opportunity to discuss this kind of recent trend of many filmmakers making the transition from content creation to filmmaking.
Full-blown feature
Proper
filmmaking.
Yeah. But there's quite a few of them now, and I think it's interesting that all of them are cutting their teeth in horror. Which I guess historically has always been a genre that a lot of directors start out in anyway.
Yeah.
But I thought it's just a interesting little side discussion. Also, films that deal with memory, because Backrooms
unexpectedly
exclusively.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that from that film, but
No.
Better than a kind of it made it feel a little bit more like a feature film and not like a massive long YouTube video. So
yeah.
Well, more on that later.
Yeah, shall we?
Let's do it.
Later is now.
Questing the cinematic void.
Right then, beforehand, actually, you know, the eagle-eyed viewer would notice a new sofa.
What?
Yeah.
We're slightly closer together, which makes framing on the GoPro a lot easier.
You're allowing them to peek behind the curtain too much here.
When I say GoPro, I mean Arri Alexa. Yeah. 65 format. Denis Villeneuve's behind the camera.
Yeah. Hey,
Denis.
You're right. Yeah, I said oat milk, by the way.
Fuck are you doing, mate?
Oh, honestly.
Sick of it.
Bastardising Frank Herbert's masterwork, and now this. It's not because I couldn't be asked to move the sofa. I had a couple of Chardonnays last night, so the cinema experience was marred substantially by feeling like I was either going to shit myself or throw up. It was orifice roulette for pretty much the entire duration of the film, which weirdly made it more enjoyable.
Okay.
That sounds a bit sort of sadomasochistic.
No, that's good. I mean, it's a horror film. It's meant to make you feel uncomfortable. So if you're already starting at that point, then...
I was also... Yeah, true. Sorry, I completely cut you off there.
What?
I know. God, it's already happening. Also, I was quite flustered going in because I got a gift card for my birthday. Thank you to Alex and Bella. If you're watching, you probably aren't, but there you go. And it sounded really bitter. You don't have to.
It didn't fucking work.
It didn't work. So I am annoyed at you about that. No, it didn't work. There was a bit of confusion. And I was like, that's when the hangover really kicked in.
Oh, mate.
And it was just these waves of nausea. And I was sweating so much from my face and my ass for some reason. And he was just there, like, obviously just doing his job. He's a really nice bloke, but not really nice. I don't know him that well. He seemed like a really nice bloke. Just in case I see a picture of him in the newspaper tomorrow and it's like, oh, fuck, he's not a nice bloke.
He's been cancelled.
Oh, God. Dogs, really? He didn't seem the kind of guy.
Pendennis Point.
Oh.
Look that up.
Yeah. That is a deep cut. For anyone associated with Falmouth, of course, you'll know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was very flustered. Luckily, he sorted it. So you're off the hook, Alex and Bella. But it was just quite a weird way to kick off, and also going to a cinema that I used to work in. Obviously, it's got a different
rebrand,
different company.
The
plastered everywhere,
changed.
So that was slightly strange as well.
I thought that big office bit before the cinema was weird to stand in that space before and after going to see a film like Backrooms, which is all about that.
Yeah, liminal spaces,
slightly off,
sort of sterile,
rooms.
liminal. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like most of that building, I think behind all of the sort of gaudy, sparkly bullshit they deploy in an effort to make you feel like you're comfortable or whatever.
Yeah,
it's all like that.
So
There's lots of rats as well and mice.
Is there?
Loads. Probably get fucking
that's
sued for
interesting.
that. But yeah, loads.
My mother-in-law would fucking hate that.
Yeah, occasionally you'd see them in the screens.
Really?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Manager used to be livid because he couldn't stand the idea that any life form was getting a free film. Chasing them with a ticket. Come on.
Well, you should have seen what the trick I pulled. I did slightly
dressed up as a giant mouse.
I slightly exploited the voucher situation because I was paying for my ticket and yours wasn't working. And I thought, I'm just going to pay for the cheapest possible seat then, because the film was already 10 minutes in, like the advert. So I was like, let's just pay for the cheap seats, and then went and sat in a recliner.
You naughty boy.
I know. I shouldn't have done it, but I did.
Oh, well, I'm going to go back and tell that guy.
I'd encourage everyone to do that.
Yeah, so would
who
I.
Who cares? Just
Yeah.
the same. It's the same film you're watching. Like,
And if you're going in right before the film starts, no one's going to kick you out your seat.
no. That's it. And you can bring whatever food you like in. That's another.
Yeah, I also
urban
did
myth.
that. Rather brazenly, just walked in with a sandwich, crisps, and a Lucozade, all of which I didn't consume during the film because I was too hungover. And also the idea of we arrived just as the film started, and I don't like the idea of eating crisps. It would be hypocritical of me to start eating crisps because I hate it when people do that. So
Yeah.
But I was also just too ill to eat. I literally thought when I walked in I was going to like just pass out and shit myself.
Oh, mate. Fair play to you for not. I didn't realise how bad it was. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I just
It's
wanted
my
to go
fault.
and
It's
I
my
wanted to
fault.
go and watch the film.
And I'm a wimp, so it's totally on me.
Well, I went to bed at 11:45 last night, so my experience was wholly different. So back to movies.
Yeah.
Our extended opening experience about going to watch the film.
Yeah.
We thought we'd discuss films about memory and this sort of YouTube to I say YouTube broadly, but this is more kind of internet mythology transitioning to the big screen. I think.
Yes.
I think that's an interesting thing to discuss.
Yes, absolutely.
With regards to storytelling and future audiences and the health of cinema as it goes forward and as sort of young people decide what to do with their Saturday afternoons. So
Yeah, absolutely.
We've already done the intro, I just realised, so we can't say let's do it again. I think like my first experience watching a film from someone of that ilk was Zach Cregger, I think, with Barbarian.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm not too familiar with what he did before, but I know he did have a YouTube channel, and that was sort of his way of getting into sort of that style of filmmaking. He seems a bit older than obviously like Kane Parsons being 20.
That is mad.
That is really mental. Not old enough to drink in the United States yet. Come over here, mate. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
2 years in. Get yourself a pint of
Thatchers.
Buckfast. No, yeah. Tonic wine, Kane. Yeah. No,
Really sick. Just be really ill.
Yeah. Just find him in like somewhere in Norfolk or something.
His heart
flat.
beating like a gerbil.
But yeah, Zach's sort of presence on the internet made a very healthy transition to the big screen.
Yeah.
With Barbarian and then Weapons, which has done very well, and we did an episode on.
Yes.
Very impressive. And now he's got Resident Evil under his belt.
Yes,
So-
the trailer of which has caused much discontent amongst the Resident Evil.
Really?
Those kind of people. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my impression of all of you.
Yeah.
If you do that.
It's not my Resident Evil.
my Resident Evil.
Not my Star Wars.
My favourite people.
Yeah.
Culturally speaking. It's interesting. I think obviously, I often feel that like 95% of YouTube is just brain decomposing, sparkly, overly enthusiastic bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I still largely believe to be true.
We're in the 5%, just saying.
Yeah. We're firmly entrenched in the sort of stuff. The rest of it is either people that are genuinely good at it.
Yeah.
That's not us. Or people who use YouTube who still use it like a blog or a vlog. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about those kinds of people is that they kind of treat it like people first did when YouTube came out. So the language of kind of content creation is now like it's just far too far gone for me.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking, but back then it was just like a window into people's lives, and I often wonder. There's no frills. You know what I mean? I often wonder, like, are they kind of fully aware of the fact they're letting people into their lives in such a kind of some of them it's just like you're with them every day and going through the motions with them.
Yeah.
The
Big
vulnerability.
Lee.
Yeah, Big Lee, exactly. Yeah.
And what Tells Webb as well.
Oh yeah, shout out for Tells Webb. I love that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's those kinds of people that I really like. But what I'm trying to get to, instead of talking about my viewing habits on YouTube, is I guess it makes sense that it would kind of be like a proving ground for talent scouting from people in the industry, right?
Yeah.
And for many reasons. Firstly, because it's a competitor to the film industry.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's probably a part of the reason why so many people don't go to the cinema anymore. So I think it's probably in the interests of the industry to kind of pluck those people from that and get them to make a movie. Not only because obviously I'm sure they would want to make the films, and but also because from a kind of point of view of if you're trying to kind of maintain your position in the cultural space, it makes sense, right? I guess from a sort of purely fiscal perspective, which I hate thinking about, but just trying to get into the mindset of the kind of reason why
the business end of it all.
And also I guess there are obviously lots of talented people, and that's kind of what the internet offers, isn't it? In a sense, obviously there's a lot of shit, and there's a lot of talented people who are just getting lost amongst the shit. But you know, the idea that it kind of, I guess, democratizes it a little bit more. It's not just necessarily so much about nepotism or, you know, luck. It's, you know, you can actually showcase your talent.
Storytelling,
and that, you know, and
chops for storytelling,
and people can engage with it. You don't need to put it on a cinema screen or have money for distribution. You can just put it on YouTube.
Quite humbling, I imagine, as well. People are brutally honest on YouTube. But you do get showered with praise if it is. I do think there's a kind of extreme on both ends. You get showered with a lot of praise as well if your video is even like vaguely good. And incidentally, Kane Parsons, his early stuff is like really impressive technically as well. He used Blender for a lot of the the early Backrooms videos were animated in Blender, which is quite a challenging piece of software to learn,
right?
Especially when you're, you know, that age.
Yeah, I can't be asked.
I've dabbled, and I work with someone who's very good at it as well, and it's not easy. There's a lot to it, and it's in many ways as advanced as any kind of professional 3D software. So him being able to harness that, but also deploy it in a way that isn't showy, not just like, look at what I can do in this software. It's like, I want to tell a story. I want to be able to tell like a kind of interesting, inspired by liminal spaces story. And like he did loads of them. They're really impressive.
Right. I actually haven't seen them.
They're good. They're really good. They're very. It's basically, you know, the found footage portions of Backrooms.
Yeah.
It's that basically, but it's short form. So I actually think the scares are more effective in the shorts than they were in the feature because the lack of story makes it more. You know, it invites you to put your own. You know, what would you do in that situation? Whereas obviously, if there's a character holding the camera as there was in the film, it sort of diminishes that, and that was one of the weaknesses I thought. But the shorts are quite impressive technically and from a storytelling point of view. So
cool.
There's no. It doesn't surprise me at all that him and other people who are equally as good at storytelling get snapped up by the likes of A24, or I think Neon did, like Bring Her Back and stuff.
Yeah.
So these companies who are outliers, I mean, they're not really outliers. They're actually funded by the same people that fund Universal and Fox and Disney and all that. But like they're positioning themselves as outliers. And their output is largely horror. And so, it's no surprise they get snapped up by these companies, I think. And I think it is all to do with storytelling and their chops in storytelling.
Yeah.
With storytelling. For a modern audience. For an audience who wasn't born in the sort of 70s or 80s, for lack of a better term, like Gen Z, I guess.
Yeah.
So, it's a smart move, I think, and it's done very well. So
yes, it has. Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. And it's also interesting that they kind of always tend to start off in horror. Sort of obviously said this in the intro, but it seems to be, as a genre, kind of proving ground for a lot of filmmakers, historically speaking. And I think it's interesting to me that kind of strategy has obviously been remolded for the sort of digital age. But I guess as a genre, it allows for that kind of ability for someone to cut their teeth on something bigger. And I guess also horror films typically are cheaper.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if it ends up being a gamble that doesn't pay off, then you've not only lost 10 million, but in the sort of context of studio filmmaking, it's not a huge amount, is it?
No, definitely not. And also harness the same tool that gave birth to the idea in the first place. Use a viral marketing campaign, saves you even more money.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone who they want to go and watch this are probably going to be engaging with viral marketing campaigns. Like,
Yeah.
very simple marketing for this is blue tape on walls. I thought that was quite a genius move from
Right,
a marketing
okay.
point of view. They just put the tape on like monuments and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's been a few examples of that. Why do you think it's horror? Like, do you think the internet, from going back to that sort of storytelling angle, do you think the internet and the horror genre kind of are quite harmonious?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think again it goes back to what we were saying before about, like if you think about it, I'm going to mention Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Tobe Hoomer changed his name to Hooper, of course, famously.
Yes.
for self-promotion reasons. No, like these filmmakers went out and they made films on like 16mm cameras, right? And it's obviously, I guess, comparatively cheaper than it would have been to use, the sort of cameras of the more sort of sophisticated cameras. And I think it's that kind of, I think there's something about the genre that invites that kind of sense of freedom. I think because the horror films, I know that we kind of lament that there are lots of kind of horror films that are very formula. They are very formula based, I should say. Like a lot of Blumhouse's output, for example. But I think as a genre, it's the one that you could probably get away with. You can be you're comparatively freer than you would be in any other genres because of the aforementioned cheapness, but also, I don't know, like I sort of feel that there's more room to play with that genre, I think.
Yeah.
And there's more room for experimentation in the sense that the whole point of a horror movie is to kind of like push and challenge people, right? That's the whole point. And a lot of these horror filmmakers who are coming out, no, I haven't seen Bring Her Back, but I've heard it's a very stressful watch because it's quite gory. And so, I think there's something in that. I think it's almost like the reframing of that for this period is that it's kind of harnessing that kind of the spirit of the horror films of the kind of late 60s, 70s. And because of that sort of sense of freedom that I guess the genre gives you, because it's always been, I know it's slightly different now. The kind of cultural landscape is different now, and people's relationships with things that offend them is very different now. But I think horror still kind of positions itself as outside of that, and kind of in opposition to a lot of like very kind of trenchant value systems. And I think because of that, there's a lot more space to operate. That was a roundabout and really late.
No. I like that. I like that. It's
the Chardonnay's creeping back.
It's the idea, I suppose, that obviously it being a kind of sandbox, I suppose, the internet, for you to sort of splurge your ideas out. It's going to invite a lot of scary stories. I think more stories that are kind of horror focused than, say, courtroom drama or romantic comedy, or like, why would that genre have a life on the internet as much as a horror, like the sort of spooky stories, campfire stories, for example? I think that's another reason why I think folk tales are so popular historically, or they kind of permeated their way through history to the present day, more so than, I mean, I can think of a handful of examples of like maybe love stories, but like you don't get a great deal of other genres kind of permeating their way through history the same way as you do with horror and those sort of spooky tales. So
it has such a presence on the internet as well, doesn't it? Like you said already, and
creepypasta,
all that kind of stuff.
Shit name. I hate that name. It's such an internety name. But anyway, the actual content is quite interesting.
Creepypasta.
Yeah.
I just think that there's something in, I think horror movies as well, it's not just about the cheapness of the kit, it's the accessibility.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I think that genre, you can use that lack of accessibility to the high quality stuff to kind of accentuate the scares. I think obviously Blair Witch was one of the first to do that, right? And I think it kind of, and obviously an online campaign that was, first of its kind as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So you could say it kind of all started with them, maybe.
Yeah, completely.
But I just think like there's something in the fact that anyone can do it, which is obviously a big part of the internet, right? That's how the internet sold to us, anyone can do it. Obviously it's not as straightforward as that, but and I think that again lends to the sort of to the horror element.
Yeah.
You can use very little and you can achieve quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I think a huge portion of the internet, in terms of the content that is created, seems to be a lot of it about kind of horror and you know, not just the kind of like stuff of, I guess, conspiracy as well. And I guess that can sort of become a big part of horror as well.
Yeah.
The sort of deliberate fusion, almost kind of tricking people into thinking that it's real. That seems like a huge thing, particularly with creepypasta, the kind of idea that it's
actually happening.
It's actually happening. And
that's what Blair Witch did.
Yeah.
That was why people went to see it, because they positioned it as actual found footage. Obviously now we know it's bollocks, and it was sort of just quite well crafted at the time because information didn't spread quite so easily. But yeah, that is one slightly troubling thing about it, is that you're playing with truth as well. And I think...
Well, I guess horror films have always Texas Chainsaw Massacre again. But it does have that thing about it being a true story, doesn't it? I think that kind of marketing is not... It's not, obviously, Blair Witch isn't the first to do it, but it feels to me that Blair Witch was one of the first to really run with it properly.
Imagine, Imagine if it was real. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting to wonder that. Is that why that kind of creepypasta, that part of it, that idea of it kind of being real? I don't know.
I think so. I think I kind of indulged in it a couple of years ago, and there was this. It was just a series of Twitter posts with an image on each one, and it was basically like someone. It was pretty straightforward. Someone found like a shack in the middle of nowhere. They decided to stay there, and each night they got visited by this sort of entity, and they got these grainy pictures of it. And with each post, you saw it more clearly, and it started to. And there was a kind of story unfolding from that. But yeah, it was positioned as entirely real. It was just someone posting on Twitter who is basically the equivalent of doing like kind of a marketing campaign for a film, but it wasn't. It was just them trying to tell a story and get some retweets. I think the cynical side of me saying it's them trying to get attention.
But that's what you want, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what you want people to engage with the stuff you're making.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's necessarily always right, right, but that's what it's all all about, isn't it? I guess. And
it was good. It was like it made me shiver watching this, and I was just on my own, like scrolling, like with no sort of auditory or like, and it does make you on edge, I think, and that is what I think Kane Parsons has tried to translate onto the big screen with this.
It's a kind of ambiguity, isn't there, to it as well with the internet?
Yeah,
like it's this kind of sense. It gives it an omnipresent feel, I guess. Because, it's sort of coming from someone that you don't know, or I don't know. I think there's something in that as well.
Yeah.
A kind of there's an emptiness to it. I don't know.
Completely
sort of poorly conceived idea, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There is. There's a sort of as opposed to like this sort of tale steeped in lore. They feel the need to explain themselves to you as part of your viewing experience. You have to know what the entity is, where it came from, what its motivations are. I think the kind of death of that way of that storytelling is it's what you don't know. I think it's the fear of the unknown, which it harnesses more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why it's so effective.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because I think we often argue that the dawn of the internet created that age of the death of ambiguity in art and culture more broadly.
Yeah.
And yet, simultaneously, some parts of it are dependent on that ambiguity. It's strange, isn't it?
That is strange. But in the context of horror, that's fantastic. I'm loving it. More of that. More ambiguity.
Yeah.
But not ambiguity to the point where you feel like you're missing something when you leave the cinema. Like ambiguity harnessed to generate a feeling, not like you feel like you've watched a third of a story, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that's the challenging bit, I think. I don't know how I would do that.
Yeah, conveying ambiguity properly is not easy.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen like Iron Lung. That's the Mark Laplier thing. He's a YouTuber who I think he used Kickstarter to make this feature. That came out recently, evidently did quite well. I think quite a mixed response. And it's a video game adaptation that I think like the rights were locked between people and he was able to make it for really cheap. I can't speak for the film itself, but the fact that got such a broad audience is also interesting. And he will undoubtedly, after the success of Backrooms and also Obsession, which is by another YouTuber, Curry Barker.
Yet to see that one.
Yeah, same. But I've been told it's better than Backrooms actually. It's just another example of someone kind of coming from, like you say, not from a nepotistic or not from Hollywood wealth or Hollywood influence, like your sort of Max Landises and your but kind of making it on their own.
I mean, obviously they might have, obviously all of their circumstances may be different, but I take. Yeah, I agree with you that I think it's a good thing in a way. I think there's lots to be cynical about with the internet, but I think there's stuff like this. It's it's cool. It's how else are people going to express themselves? It's pretty difficult to do so, and if you want people to engage with it, it's probably one of the only options you have, really.
Yeah, completely.
And if you get plucked by A24, then fucking hell. I mean, fair play. I mean,
this is going to start a slew of probably much naffer horror films, I think.
That is also the thing, isn't it? It's it's going to start off really well.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of interesting ideas, and it's just going to, I agree. I think it's not going to take long before the people more concerned with revenue streams start just farming out to all sorts of stuff. And
I think there's going to be an example of giving perhaps even younger internet-based filmmakers, or I should say, like kind of YouTubers, the in inverted commas created freedom, but then it turns out that they actually need a lot of hand-holding, or they don't, but they are getting controlled by these sort of people that don't have a clue what. It's in a similar way that giving like Josh Trank loads of money to make Fantastic Four, and then obviously he was baffled when 20th Century Fox started meddling. He's like, well, of course they are. They're like, there's a huge investment, and I think that's going to happen in this context as well. There's going to be some lesser-known YouTubers that get a little bit of cash from some companies, and then the people in charge start watching the stuff and go, oh, maybe we can try this, reshoots. Yeah, I think that might be a bit of an issue going forward.
Because on paper, it's great marketing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You're basically saying to a whole generation of people that we see you.
Yeah, look who we found.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the person whose YouTube you watch every night before bed. He's making a film now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. But yeah, you're right. It probably will end up being shit. But then
there's going to be a lot of bad films coming out of this.
the way it tends to be,
Yeah. It's a shame, but I do see that, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're all going to be amazing. It's going to be a new dawn for horror, and it's going to be.
I think it still will. Yeah, I think there's still a lot of stuff to be excited about, and there always will be.
Yeah,
but I think it's like, again, finding diamonds in the dog shit, isn't it? The dog shit's just going to get bigger as time goes on.
Yeah.
I agree, and I'm looking forward. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the Resident Evil film.
Same, yeah.
I don't know why. I do know why, actually. It's because I'm a sweltering nerd who played all the games.
Did you play the first one or the second one? Or like?
I played most of them. Most of them.
No,
ladies. I obviously, like, the first one is like a formative memory for me as a child, like cultural memory. Like when you see the first zombie for the first time.
Yeah, that's the one in the mansion, isn't it?
Yeah. And
they kind of played with that a little bit.
Yeah. And what I've always loved about it, as I've gotten older, is the kind of Eastern approximation of Western culture. I think we've sort of spoke about this in our video game episode. But film adaptation, But I really love that about it, and that kind of fluctuates depending on what which game, because some games it just leans into more action, like Resident Evil 4, which I think is one of the best ones. But then the more recent ones actually are still quite actiony. But the first half of Biohazard 7 is basically like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Me and Hannah have played that. Fuck me, that's challenging.
It's great.
It's really very good.
I mean, it loses its way.
We didn't
actually sort of go.
Yeah, we didn't actually
complete it.
For you. That's okay. No, I've still got it downloaded.
Play to the halfway point, and it's. I quite happily put it down after that, but I finished it. But yeah, anyway, the reason I mention it is not just because I really love the games, but I think it's going to be interesting to me to see how Kreger handles that pressure of making a game that has a lot of fans, and as we kind of alluded to beforehand, are very set on what they don't like, but seldom offer any alternatives.
Yeah.
So I think, and I like that it's pissing people off.
Yeah, same.
I think that's, even if the film ends up not being very good, I'll always kind of say, well, fair play to him, because fuck fandom. Like, I'm sick of it. It's boring. Like, pandering to those kinds of people. They are gluttonous, and they will just take any old shit as long as they can go. It's a Funko Pop versions of it.
Yeah.
They'll just keep fucking doing it. It's like, fuck it. Who cares? Like, let someone just have a run with it. Like,
do you think? So, do you think Zach Cregger was a fan of the games as well?
I think so.
I think he must have been.
Yeah. He's referred to himself the process as having fun playing.
That's really interesting.
Which is in stark contrast to his other two films. I mean, obviously, I think he enjoyed making those two films, but I think he feels a bit more liberated by taking on something like this, which is interesting given that the pressure that comes with the fandoms that attach to different intellectual properties, right? And
hopefully he's just tried to adapt how the games made him feel. Like, that would be interesting for me to watch, I think. How did you respond to playing those games? Because they are all about tension, aren't they? Like, and kind of getting out of the way of... if I remember correctly anyway, the first one was very much like they're quite slow, but you have like limited ammo and stuff. And
it's all about the survival element, and obviously the camera is deliberately quite jarring.
Yeah.
That's all part of the kind of DNA of particularly those early games. And I'd be interested to see how that, like you say, the transition into that. The trailer does look quite different from what I expected.
Yeah.
But then
you've
also had people try and make films very much based on the game, and that doesn't work either. So I just think it's see what he does. I think I've got faith in it because it's him, and he's done two excellent additions to the horror genre, and I'm
looking forward to it. And I think the fact that he's from a generation of filmmakers that knows, coming from a place of knowing audiences and knowing young audiences, I think it's going to make it even more interesting. And I mean, the fact that he clearly... Whereas, like, I'm not sure if Paul W.S. Anderson, obviously we're going back to the original Resident Evil films, which I have a soft spot for.
I have a soft spot for quite a lot of his films, really, but it's not because they're good, right? I mean,
they
everything bar... Event Horizon is excellent.
Yes.
Everything apart from that.
I was gutted when that didn't make the watch along, actually.
I know.
That would have been really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's fine. Court of public opinion states otherwise. So again, that made me sound quite bitter. Sorry. But Zach Cregger, I think good power to him. I agree with you.
It just because he's a little bit further on, isn't he, than the other filmmakers?
Yes,
and it's interesting to see. I think he is the kind of one that you're going to look to and say, okay, this is how it's going to end up for the other ones. I think obviously every filmmaker has, they're going to be, that each path is going to be very different, but fundamentally they've come from the same roots on the same journey through an industry that will give you everything, providing you're giving them enough back.
So
and the moment that stops happening, that's when things change, right? And I'd be interested to see. Obviously, I don't want that to happen to him.
I hope not. I hope he doesn't get mandated reshoots.
I'm a big admirer of him.
Same.
Yeah, I got the impression from the trailer that the budget was smaller anyway.
Same. It's quite
scrappy, I thought.
Yeah, low key. Not a great deal of location stuff. A lot of sort of sets and a lot of close quarters, which again kind of speaks to the early game.
Yeah.
And even Biohazard 7, is it Biohazard?
Yeah, that's 7. Yeah,
that's a tension. I'm glad I haven't played the second half because it sounds like it loses its way, but
it does.
Yeah. And I don't know a lot about it's Australian. The Australian people that made Talk to Me, which I thought was really effective as a horror film.
Yeah, I quite liked that film. Yeah. Did we do an episode about it?
No, we didn't. I did watch it.
We watched it together though, didn't we? Did I see it with you?
I think I watched it. I remember watching it with Hannah. Maybe
I was behind you both.
That Camry that I know you set up in my living room. Again, and it's clear that the storytelling is trying to be fresh. I think Talk to Me did suffer a little bit from kind of its influences becoming a little bit too apparent, and sort of how the story resolved itself seemed quite ordinary for a horror film. But the concept, the monkey's paw concept, which kind of apparently obsessions about that as well. The idea of like the sort of wish fulfillment, be careful what you wish for, and that kind of thing. Talk to Me was more about a different realm, wasn't it? You gripped the hand, and you went somewhere else.
Yeah.
slightly similar to Backrooms as well. Just sort of made that connection, but
yeah, there's a lot of thematic parallels.
Maybe these stories are all coming from a much more similar place than we might have thought.
Yeah,
yeah. But I would like to watch Bring Her Back as well. I think the thing that puts me off a little bit is the reception to it and the kind of its emphasis on a lot of gratuitous violence. I mean, maybe the shock value is kind of the point. I don't know, but
yeah. I mean, I remember chatting to Lee about it fairly recently, and he said it was really stressful difficult to get through, but he said that's what horrors are supposed to be, right? And that's kind of a good point. I just have to psych myself up mentally for those kind of experiences. I can't just. I'm as I get older, I become much more. I think I say this quite a lot on the podcast, but I kind of get I'm a bit wimpy in my older age. So I will watch it, but I only watch Raw, the fucking cannibalism film. I only watched that very recently because I kept thinking, I'm not sure I'm in the mood for that. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was excellent film. I'll say excellent again. It was an excellent film.
Just 4.
yeah, just 4. But it took me time to come around to it.
Okay.
So yeah, but we'll definitely check it out.
Yeah,
because a lot of people whose opinions I respect say it's worth stressing through it.
Okay.
Because again, it goes back to what we're saying. That's the kind of, perhaps why these filmmakers are having such success in that genre is because they are channeling what it's supposed to be. I think for a very long time, the Blumhouse style horror films have kind of made horror quite a safe, almost too dependable genre.
Yeah,
and obviously there's going to be gore and a bit of shock in it, but it's firmly in the guardrails of a certain kind of storytelling, which is very, very popular.
Yeah.
Whereas what I admired about Backrooms is that there's a lot of kind of, true to the sense of the film being about liminal spaces. There's lots of silence and lots of kind of like sort of unsettling nothingness.
Yeah,
and
good sound design.
Yeah,
to anchor that feeling as well.
And I didn't think I had a few gripes with the film, but broadly speaking, I really admired that about it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the kind of film audiences who are quite conditioned by a certain kind of horror storytelling are probably going to not gel with that. But that's not a bad thing, I don't think. And I don't necessarily mean they won't gel with it and hate it, but there might be something that kind of jarring, the interplay might initially be a bit jarring.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. And it speaks to what the genre should be about, really. Admire that about it, I think. Jumping the gun a bit, but
no, not at all. I'm quite curious about how the sort of creepypasta forums influence is on like design choices, specifically creature design. I think that's where a lot of the sort of Blumhouse fare lacks. It is the
it's almost like a new mythology, isn't it?
Yeah, and some very, very disturbing imagery can come out of that because people on the internet, some of them, they conjure up this like nasty imagery and they don't need to back it up with anything. You can just post the picture.
Yeah.
And it's this horrible like contorted faces and like this, steeped in mythology, but a new kind of mythology that's based on grain and imperfection and and darkness and some like horrific imagery. And they make the thumbnail quite often. The reason why I would watch like a YouTube video about some people going missing because of the horrible thumbnail. I'm like, oh, that looks like, wow, this is going to conjure up a certain feeling. And I think not only Backrooms, but another film I watched recently from the director of Hokum, actually. It's their previous efforts, Irish filmmaker. I can't remember the fucking title, but I got recommended it by a colleague, Josie, shout out. And
does she listen?
Possibly. I'll get her to listen to this one. In fact, she probably will listen to this one because she's really interested in this sort of new age of internet filmmaking. And
sound bitter again there. Will she listen?
You
better.
She recommended it to me and I can't remember the name of it. That's going to really annoy me. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm sorry.
I have heard Hokum is really good as well.
Yeah.
There is a slight sort of horror, dare I say, horror renaissance.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Spurred on by the sort of, all this sort of new wave of filmmakers.
Leading the charge.
Damien McCarthy. Irish filmmaker. Oddity, it's called.
Yeah, okay.
And there's like a sort of motif in the film which concerns a carved wooden man, and just like with his mouth open, and it's horrible imagery. And I think that comes from that sort of creepypasta-y type stuff.
I actually thought one of the weaker elements of Backrooms was the monster.
Yeah, what the pirate?
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that was a bit a naff way to represent the psychology of the film.
Better when it was in the distance.
Yeah, I was actually gutted that they didn't, but I guess the cynic in me thinks possibly that's because we can't be too sparse.
Yeah,
there has to be something.
Yeah, otherwise I'd be complaining that wasn't enough, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but
I quite like that they killed it and then it was like on a kind of operating table at the end.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, so that's just a kind of symptom of this place. It's not the main big bad.
Yeah,
I kind of liked that they left that open to interpretation. It was a little bit less clear, where it's not like the Minotaur in the maze. It to kind of pluck pluck something out of thin air.
A lofty
where that came from
as well.
Ooh, yeah,
Crete's resident Minotaur.
Yeah, wow. I'm impressed with myself.
I would be.
Yeah.
I'm sort of annoyed I didn't think of that.
Yes, creature design in Backrooms. I thought the best deployment of it was early on, where it turned out to be like a cardboard cutout. I was like, okay, that is interesting. That is humanoid, and I was expecting it to move.
Yeah,
and then it didn't, and it turned out to be something else. Then also later on, something watching Renee. I can't remember how to pronounce her name.
You even watched a video of it
already.
as well.
I watched a video of her saying her own name. Norwegian actor.
Is she Norwegian?
Yes, I'm going to say yes.
I thought she was Danish.
Fuck. Right.
Oh God, I might be wrong there. So sorry.
No.
Sorry to Renata.
Norwegian. Yes.
Yeah, good man.
Renee Rains.
Rainsver. Renata. Yeah.
Renata. Yeah. Oh, Christ. Anyway, she's in said Backrooms.
That's so Brexit, that isn't it?
Oh, it's bad. Can't row back.
Your name ain't Keith. Can't say it. Sorry.
If you don't drink Carling, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name. Yes, she's in the Backrooms.
Carlsberg.
Carlsberg? I haven't had a Carlsberg in like
Denmark,
about 10 years.
Near enough.
Yeah.
That neck of the woods. I thought she was Danish because she works with the guy who directed Worst Person in the World and what's his most recent film? God, my memory.
Sentimental Value.
Yeah. Is it Joaquin?
Very talented filmmaker. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that how you pronounce it? Fuck,
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm not asking you. Fucking hell. Yeah, let's just say that.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed that, but obviously people can. There's a thing called a plane now. I don't know if you've heard of it. They can get from one country to another. So really quickly as well, I hear. So yeah.
That's a bit beyond me.
Yeah.
I think that's for the internet generation to deal with that.
Yeah. I just walk everywhere.
Yes. No, there's a moment where she... it turns out to be Chitwell... Jesus Christ. It turns out to be his character. And he's... Fucking hell.
Man.
Just crumbled in front of my very eyes.
Oh,
I know his first name's Chitwell, and I can pronounce that with a lot of confidence.
Just say that. We could frame it, and you could edit this to it looks like we're on first name terms with him.
Yeah. He's actually he is
behind Denis.
Denis.
He's doing
name
this.
I can pronounce.
He's doing this.
Yeah.
Stop this shit.
Stop this absolute.
What this? No, the whole thing. Oh,
start again.
Yeah.
Oh. Can I borrow your power bank, Denis, for the GoPro? Not GoPro. Yes. Anyway, it turns out it's him, but you think there's something lurking in the shadows. Imagery-wise, there's a lot of good stuff in the first half.
Yeah.
But I do think it does lose its way in terms of creature design.
Yeah, 100%.
It just... I liked the kind of secondary creatures with the distorted pano, I'm going to call them like pano faces, where you sort of do a pano of your own face and turn it halfway. You thought maybe criticism of AI, maybe?
Yeah, it just kind of reminded me of those kind of like, there was that thing where people, obviously before everyone realised it was like annihilating the planet.
Yeah.
Having a lot of, not to get, lecture anyone.
I think that's pretty. Yeah,
but
we're on pretty safe ground.
I think everyone was like, having really good fun with those face things, and sometimes they come out like that, and it just made me wonder.
Yeah,
because obviously a lot of creative industries are rallying against it because obviously it's the biggest threat to their industries.
Including Kane Parsons. He has mentioned that he has no interest in using it, which is quite cool for a 20-year-old.
So maybe that's a comment in itself then, in terms of the design of the kind of forgotten people or memories of people, these distorted
how you would remember
representations.
someone.
And I thought that was an interesting sort of potential sort of sub theme.
There's a woman in a red dress with one of those faces, and she reminded me of the nurses from Silent Hill.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was quite good. I liked those, especially in the when they were like dancing around the Christmas tree, and that was quite good from a design point of view. But I think it was just the pirate. It was that big pirate chasing her. I was a bit like, I'm not scared now. I'm trying to get a glimpse of this sort of big CGI pirate with a contorted sort of bulging eyes and stuff. I didn't really enjoy that bit.
No, I mean, I just thought it was a kind of really kind of naff way to express, obviously, the main character's sense of kind of inertia, about his life. Because obviously that's, the film is very much about, I guess how we all start out in terms of the hopes and dreams that we have, and how they can sort of fall by the wayside because of choices we've made. Some of those choices are sort of feel predetermined. Yeah. So the idea of having a house, getting a partner, all those kinds of things, I think are pretty predetermined.
Yeah.
And it's how those impact that original dream, that kernel of hope that you had to go out into the world and make a difference through your passion or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's a source of his character's, I guess, depression, which obviously then makes him more and more unbearable to be around. And that's why he's divorced. He's living in the place he works. Yeah. Instead of being an architect, he sort of sells very cheap looking furniture in a very kind of depressing, sterile looking shop.
Yes.
Which I think is also another interesting thing about, the way in which kind of architecture and spaces, which is obviously a huge part of the film and obviously a huge part of Kane Parsons' career.
Yeah.
Obviously with all the kind of stuff you said, the animation stuff we did before about the sort of the Backrooms.
Yeah.
The idea that they inherit that sort of sense of feeling, so the feeling can be, from your own, again, those kind of feelings. We've all had shit jobs, and it tends to be in those shit jobs that the architecture,
the environment,
just mirrors that back to you. Sort of, it comes your sort of disappointment and shame and angst and existential dread just bounces off the breeze block walls back to you.
Yeah, that's actually good.
And I thought that was a really interesting way of conveying it. But he's a kind of product of his failures, and there's a lot of psychological damage as a result of that. And that's added more of a burden to him because his wife's left him for that reason, right? He's obviously a heavy drinker, and that he's also quite sort of aggressive.
Yes,
verbally speaking.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's about the way in which, even when we're like that, how our brains try and protect ourselves.
Yeah.
So how we protect ourselves from kind of introspection, and how we sort of say, no, it was right that I did that. Or they completely just push it away and pretend that it never happened. Which is another big theme of the film, I thought.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that kind of thematic stuff was really quite interesting. And the way it affects memory as well, actually.
Yes.
So the way that desire to protect ourselves impacts the way we think about people or situations.
Or things we've done in the past, yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of, you remember something, perhaps shining yourself in a bit more of a positive light than what actually happened, and how other people would remember you doing, and kind of performing those actions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was a big theme in the film, and that was what pulled it out of that internet-y, this is interesting kind of thing, hour and a half long version of that, and into an actual kind of like quite a well thought out theme.
And also as well, Renato.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep getting confused because there's a place called Renato's in Bristol, isn't the pizza place?
Yeah,
I keep saying that for some reason. We're not sponsored by them. Don't worry, to the people at Ronseal. We're still
No, yeah, we're committed and firm in much like Ron Seal is firm
yes.
once dried.
Resilient to the rain, of course.
Yep.
She plays obviously his therapist, psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a comment there about someone who she's also very psychologically damaged.
Yes.
Individual, and the part of her memories of a childhood memories, and what I'm assuming is a mother who was not very well herself mentally.
She's got like agoraphobia, hasn't she? She doesn't want to go outside, and so she protects, or she thinks she's protecting her daughter from things which aren't actually there, and that is forms part of her trauma. And
it's interesting. There's a comment there like, how can people who are supposed to support you? Obviously, they are not the version of themselves. Yeah. And I guess, and that's not necessarily a criticism of her. It's the fact that I guess that this industry offers this kind of support and offers like, basically, you're going to be like me when this is over. You're going to be like unshackled from your trauma or all the kind of ugliness that you have in you. But then these people are carrying that ugliness themselves. So there's a kind of helplessness to it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't think, obviously, I'm not saying that as someone that I obviously think, therapy and psychology, it's all very...
Oh, no.
But the film, I guess, is posing that question about the kind of nature of, I guess, what it is to be human and what's God, it sounds so wanky, doesn't it? But I think the idea of kind of living an experience, do you just shut yourself away and lose out on so much in an effort to protect yourself?
Yeah. And I think another thing... Yeah. It's good. I think another thing that it touches on is like you kind of development, and what you said is how you, as a trained professional who is effectively in charge of someone's well-being, how do you admit to them that what they're doing is wrong, and like, because you don't want to make it worse for them, but.
No. They don't want judgment, do they? They don't want judgment.
But perhaps that's what they need. And that especially the film's set in 1990, actually. I noticed that on one of the screens.
Oh, really? Because I was wondering when the era of the film was.
Yeah.
That clears it up.
1990, where I think that sort of area of psychiatry was perhaps a little bit less explored. And perhaps our character... can't pronounce it. Is positioned as maybe... quite forward thinking in that way, but how do you and there's a scene in the film, one of the best scenes I thought, where she sort of screams at this guy, like basically says like, it's your fault. You are the kind of,
you're the architect of your own.
That's it. Yeah, your own demise or your own kind of downfall.
Which I guess she probably would have wanted him to realise about himself in a much more kind of like, therapeutic way. But the situation that she's in, I guess that it kind of sheds that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The kind of performative nature of that role, given that she, you're in a psychologist's office. And and again, about how much as well we are influenced by our environment and how the environment plays into the characters that we have to play. Which is a really interesting kind of sociological theory in itself.
Yes, I liked the idea that the environment that you inhabit can start to change based on, and I think that's the kind of whole thing around your memories. Like this place is populating itself with like distorted memories, and those are the kind of evil in the film. It was just a good idea.
It's funny, I had that, we said this already, but going to that cinema, which I worked there for like 3 or 4 years, and it was weird going back and seeing it like, it was very different.
Yeah.
But thinking about it like that, like obviously there's weirdly kind of romantic, but also it was a strange feeling going back in. I'm not being romantic about...
The underlying space was the same. But the facade has changed.
The idea that, one of the big draws of the job was that you didn't really have to give too much of a shit. And there was something simultaneously quite nice about that, but also quite, can be a bit sort of like, what am I doing sort of thing.
Oh, right, a bit bleak, yeah.
And it's funny how the way I was walking, obviously I was sort of really struggling with the hangover, so that took most of my sort of thought thinking. But I don't know, like I just thought I was just thinking that as I was walking through, like I can remember so much about this, and I just wonder, yeah, like the architecture sort of, it almost felt like it had that memory in it, you know. And it's not a memory that I really often think about. And it's funny how I guess as soon as you walk into a space, it's either going to kind of have a positive impact on you, or it's going to really actually make you think, nah.
I want out.
And the way that those kind of emotions are almost embedded in the walls.
Yes. They don't present themselves unless you walk into that space.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it conjures up this kind of stuff is all really good, I think. I think I'm very positive in terms of the success of the film, not in terms of you actually walking to a space and feeling uncomfortable. I think it handles memory really well. And I know we sort of said we talk about films and memory, but we could just throw it into this. But Memento, one of them. There you go. Talked about it. Good film.
But it's like that. I guess a lot of the kind of films that explore memory are about the unreliability of it.
Yes, Eternal Sunshine being one of them.
Yeah. And the idea that, again, the way that you frame those memories says a lot about you as a person, and a lot of
self-sabotage.
A lot of it, obviously you are programmed to kind of, your brain's programmed to protect you. It's not going to let you just, I don't know. I'm kind of talking about things I don't really know a great deal about, but my feeling is that it's a defense mechanism. It's a way of coping with really strong, potentially really negative emotions.
Yeah. Okay.
And particularly when you think about in a relationship, in the case of Eternal Sunshine, that it's about the two people being in love with each other and loving each other dearly, but drifting apart.
Yeah.
And these kind of external forces at play that kind of start that divide, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's when these people show parts of themselves to each other that I guess would, upon later reflection, induce a lot of shame.
Yeah, completely.
And I guess the reason we would distort those memories is because we don't want to remember the time we were horrible to someone we cared about. We don't want to remember that.
No, you want to justify your behaviour.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really hard to admit to yourself when you were straight up just behaving dreadfully. I think you always have to say, well, why did I do that? And you think of a reason, however kind of hackneyed or sort of however it might be. You might say, well, the reason I was that is because I was tired. Yeah, like there's a whole sort of theme in Backrooms, which is just like, why did I behave this way? Well, because I have a job that I'm not satisfied with. Thus, I am now drinking more heavily. Therefore, I'm going to be late home from work and my relationship's going to suffer. And it's kind of like the consequences, sort of cause and effect starts to take hold. And then, but then it's definitely very good at explaining to anyone why you might act the way you do, and where's the seed, where's the original seed in that, like what kickstarted all this. Was it actually something positive, like getting together with a partner and buying a house? I think that was, and the same with Eternal Sunshine, actually. Like, I think it has a very potent theme about the way you remember and how crucial it is to remember, and how that can help you grow. If you have a healthy relationship with your memories, I think you can just admit to yourself, like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't ever do that again. I shouldn't behave that way.
Yeah. And the process of deleting those memories, as is just it's almost kind of like denying you that opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. We watched that quite recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We watched it.
I think we mentioned it before. Did we mention it?
We probably did, yeah. I don't think we...
It's not often we get to do things like that. So
Charlie Kaufman and Michel Gondry were there, and they did like an intro, and it was a very unusual experience, that interview.
Yeah.
Yes, we went to see it with an intro from them, and it was interesting hearing, especially Kaufman, talk about it. I think Gondry was like a bit drunk. I don't think he was that... Didn't really want to be there. But... Kaufman, I should say, not Kaufman. Fuck's sake, not getting any names right today.
Sort of cursed.
Yeah.
No, I feel like a lot of his work, obviously, his memory is a huge theme, a big part of all the films he makes. Actually, I'm thinking like Synecdoche, New York. I'm thinking of Ending Things. These are all films that deal with memory and how these memories simultaneously sculpt and haunt us, and the way in which we interact with those memories informs how people move forward, and that's for good and for bad. So it's a huge theme, and I think, when I try and sort of think about other films that treat memory in a slightly different way, I guess memories that are more influenced by external sort of stimuli or something like, I think that's like Mulholland Drive. Like the memories of that film, to me, feel very much sculpted by the culture that you ingest.
Okay.
So the idea of the kind of LA, right, Hollywood, as this kind of dreamscape.
Glitzy.
Yeah. I just absolutely, I mean, I adore the movie.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah.
Obviously, the criminal, seedy underbelly of the industry that obviously dominates Hollywood, but also just the seediness of it. But Naomi Watts' character, first name we got right,
Naomi Watts.
There we go. She kind of represents, I guess, that very blatant, very obvious, but masterfully done, starry-eyed optimism about the industry being a place of dreams and where your dreams come true. And I feel like the way that that kind of initial kind of relationship with memory is almost tinged by that.
Yeah,
tinged by that kind of optimism, which comes from obviously having an adoring and obviously to a fault adoring attitude with an industry that has a very, very dark underbelly.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think what Lynch was trying to do was create some very, very potent memories of that film, more so than any conventional plot could probably give you.
Yeah.
And so he's giving to his audience the same uncomfortable memories.
Yeah,
I think. And my memory of watching that film was because I got recommended to me by Sarah Arnold, one of our other lecturers, not Mark Jenkin, and because I said I liked David Lynch, I actually only liked him because he'd done The Elephant Man, and she's like, you got to watch Mulholland Drive. And my God, what that opening moment with to get rid of this god awful feeling. Fucking hell! It's so much more effective than any sort of like violin screechy jump scare. I don't know, because it delivers on the promise of the horror that it has that is bubbling beneath the surface so early. Very potent memories of that film.
I was lucky enough to see it on the big screen a few years ago, and it was just like such one experience. Yeah,
man, it was originally going to be a TV show.
Yes,
It got retooled into a film once. I think financing fell through or something. But yeah, what an experience. And do you think that sort of cerebral horror is going to make a comeback now with this sort of internet-y age of filmmaking, or do you think it'll be a lot slicker? Because Mulholland Drive, for everything it is, it's not trying to be slick, is it? It's very patchworky.
I mean, the film it's very deliberate. Obviously that's Lynch's bread and butter. Like he's not gonna tell you what it is about.
No.
Both in the film and
in interviews afterwards,
which I always really admired about him. I think some people wouldn't be able to get away with that. They'd be like, "Oh, you're a fucking arrogant twat." But Lynch got away with it because I think he was just the standard bearer of that period for that kind of filmmaking. And I think largely in part because there is a sense of play as well. Like it isn't just this kind of chin scratching exercise. His films feel very much rooted in his memories.
Yeah,
I mean, Blue Velvet, right? The White Picket Fence opening. He talks very fondly about his memories. You always kind of assume he's kind of this haunted chap, but he isn't. He talks very fondly about his childhood and his kind of middle class American suburbia. So it's interesting there. Again, there's a comment there, isn't there? I think we always assume that it has to be negative memories for like those kinds of films or horror movies to be effective, but not necessarily.
No, I think actually, because he's very. The sort of idealistic America that he presents in the opening of Blue Velvet is very like it feels quite authentic. It doesn't feel like it does feel like it's harking back to a memory. And I think the pan down into the bugs is him getting older and kind of more cynical, I think. But yeah, no, you're right.
I think it's also like you're kind of, I guess, culturally conditioned because of the way that cinema often frames American suburbia. Always talk about Douglas Sirk, but he's like the king of that. And all the resulting kind of films about suburbia, like Revolutionary Road and all that kind of stuff. It's like, it's about suburbia as a place that kind of, it's just this sterile, and it's false. And it's only as good to you as long as you toe the line. The moment you go off and try and if you're unhappy you've got to hide it, or if you're going to have to be a widow for your whole life because you can't get a partner, especially a gardener who's also the unbearably handsome Rock Hudson, but it's not allowed. Even your fucking daughter, like, don't do that.
Yeah, you get a parking ticket if you park there, basically.
Yeah. So, I think I was kind of conditioned to think that, and that's why I kind of assumed that Lynch was kind of critiquing it, but I don't think he is.
I don't think so. I think Backrooms actually has some kind of interesting visual imagery with regards to suburbia as well. Like, a lot of the homes seem, even though it's set in the 90s, and in theory you should sort of position that. A lot of people have a lot of reverence for that period, and I thought it was interesting that the sort of retail spaces didn't feel.
Well, they're always shit, aren't they?
Yeah, they've always been shit.
I cannot stand shops anyway, but the shops that, like IKEA.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, the obsession with it, it makes me so.
It's
annoyed.
Depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I think there is something interesting there in the presentation of the furniture shop. It's this place that's supposed to offer comfort and style. But all of it just looks in that space. It looks shit. It looks like, and it's the sort of stuff that's being sold. It's almost offering something that, but what it's offering a kind of, I don't know. What do you think? Like a sort of. I've completely lost trail of thought.
No. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's like, I guess commodities are there to offer you something. It's to kind of keep you distracted, right? It's to stop you from thinking about what the fuck am I doing with this life? Well, it's like, well, at least I've got a nice sofa. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a nice sofa, so I don't have to. That'll keep the existential demons at bay for about 30 seconds. Then the sofa becomes a vessel for me to lie on it and cry when I wonder what the fuck the point of any of it is. And that's kind of the interesting thing I think about it, is that these places offer that, but they always are the most soulless-looking places you can imagine.
Yeah,
and I always feel. Not so. This might sound like I'm taking the piss, but I genuinely, and some people might enjoy it working in those places, but I just think I always feel sorry for people who work in those places, because I just think it must drive you fucking mad.
They're kind of meant to be aspirational, aren't they? But they're actually quite soulless in this sort of warehouse space, especially with the kind of 90s context. They're not. you sort of you can see through the facade, but it also. You could perhaps see how he would come to try and sell it. Like, initially you'd probably try and sell it based on being a aspirational object.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's kind of the bread and butter of selling, isn't it? Is you're trying to tap into people's desires, and a lot of those people's desires are, I guess, in the material sense, are there to kind of act as a buffer against those kind of broader existential questions about what am I doing, what's happening. You buy yourself those things to validate. Yeah. To validate?
Validate.
Validate. What the fuck are we? Are we having like a collective stroke or something?
Possibly.
Yeah. If this episode never comes out,
because we're lost in the back rooms.
We are, yeah,
of our own minds. we all have a back rooms. I think that was a sort of message of the film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've all got a back room.
We've all got a back rooms. All these paths we take.
Yeah.
We're desperate to kind of to validate the decisions we've made, and I think material possessions come some way into doing that.
Definitely.
But I just always think it's funny that those kind of spaces that sell them are always like really shit places to be in.
Yeah.
Which I guess in itself is a
kind of conjures up anxiety.
Yeah.
And that anxiety stemming from environment is what Backrooms is very good at, I think.
Yeah, it's the kind of not knowing, the uncertainty. Obviously the liminal spaces.
Yes,
which the
I like
film,
that word.
Yeah, which the film is kind of centered on. These idea of transitory places. They're the kind of middle place from you getting one place to another, right?
Yes.
So, but being constantly in those places is quite a sort of frustrating and emotionally draining experience.
Yeah,
and I think the film channels that feeling really, really well.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought the production design was good in conveying that. The kind of that the furniture's all very cheap and bare. The wallpapers is kind of a bit like sort of sepia, and it's just it kind of speaks to what those spaces are designed for. They're not designed to be looked at. They're designed to be sort of travelled through.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah,
so it makes no sense that they would look nice.
No,
I guess to the eyes of the people that sort of pioneered that.
So the first ever image of it was of a furniture shop. That the whole Backrooms mythology was kickstarted by someone just posting a weird picture of an empty furniture shop, and the white balance wasn't set right. So that's why it's that yellow. Because there's a camera problem. So yeah,
all too familiar.
Fair play to the production design team for getting that across, because it must have been hard. Because obviously Kane Parsons being from a background of generating this in 3D to kind of work in a realistic environment and to shoot it so well is commendable, I think. So yeah, couple of chonky visual effects shots, mainly sky replacements. Should probably point that out. There's some weird. A lot of people told me how visually interesting the film was, and there was some odd comp shots where I just thought you haven't nailed that at all. No. But again, that's just me.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are they there?
Yeah, just I don't know. They
I just always think it's just always better just to go tighter.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You don't need that shot to be like that. We always go back to the kind of exterior. Is it Niagara Falls scene in The Bride?
Oh God, yeah,
Niagara Falls in the background.
Yeah,
I think so. Anyway, but that is shocking, and it's like you don't need that.
No.
Just have a close up with some running water in the background.
It's fine. Yeah.
But then I do wonder again. It goes back to that kind of how the kind of money in the industry influences the creative decisions. They're probably thinking the audience needs to know where they are at all times.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. But
possibly he wouldn't have had Final Cut on this. I imagine there was some toing and froing. In some,
do you think?
Yeah.
With A24, I mean, they kind of at least posit themselves as champions of a kind of free and sort of artistic and creative freedom, seldom offered anywhere else.
I think the scarcity of Final Cut privilege for a 20-year-old guy, forget it. I don't think so. Yeah, I'd be very surprised. I think they let him lead it, but I think there would have been a couple of little tweaks at the end, and that's fine. Studio notes. Especially from a company like A24, they do know what they're doing with this kind of cerebral horror. So, there's been a lot of
has suffered.
There's been a lot of speculation about Kane Parsons, how involved he actually was, and all the actors have been very forthcoming with saying no, he was the sort of creative champion behind this, and I do believe them because they seem quite sincere.
I think it's interesting that it must have been quite a daunting prospect. You're not only directing established actors, but the aforementioned name that we can't get right, Renate Renisvier, I think.
That's it, mate.
Is that it?
Did you look that up?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I did go to the toilet beforehand, and I should have. Yeah, but I didn't. My hands only touched my.
I didn't touch your phone.
No.
Certainly not. Okay, well, there you go.
She's someone that's come from the European independent film scene, which is obviously a very different beast to Hollywood.
Yeah,
not that obviously it's subject to the same kind of market imperatives of any industry, but I think the feeling around the director is a lot more perhaps romantic than it is in America.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and she to me is like one of a generational talent. I think she's
very good.
It's clear to see that she's the films that she's been in, the way she inhabits those characters, and the psychological scarring and torment of the characters that she plays. It's just the weight of those performances. I can't overstate how good she is at that, playing those kind of characters. And I thought it was interesting that yes, it's through the lens of Hollywood, so it's not going to be as kind of there's not going to be as much sort of silence in character. I think that's perhaps one of the film's weaker sides. That it's very pointed and it's very deliberate in everything it's doing, particularly from a script point of view. I don't think that necessarily derails the film. It just occasionally grates. But I was just interested that I probably should have watched the interview with her in it, really. But the interviews these days don't really do that. They just do gimmicky stuff. Like I watched a clip of them, like she was on a psychologist sort of chaise lounge.
Saw that.
And I was like, I'm not interested in this. I mean,
I know about the film.
You talk about the film. What lenses did you use? No one cares, do they? Outside of this sweaty living room.
Who do you employ to do that comp shot? Sack him and hire me instead. I could have done a marginally better job with a lot more time.
But I was just interested to see, because it's her first film in Hollywood.
Yes, yeah. Is it her first English language film?
I want to say, I mean, she does obviously speak English in the other films occasionally.
Yeah.
But I guess solidly English.
Solidly Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
I just wondered what it was that brought her to this project, because you know, I think she seems like someone. I don't, from what I've read in sparsely or gleaned from a couple of the articles I've read about her, she is very much happy to stay in her lane. You know,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
not in the sense that she's not going to do stuff she wouldn't normally do. I think this film is testament to that. What I mean is that she's not going to be. Happens a lot with actors, like they become this. You know, they become huge overnight, and then before you know it, they're in a Marvel film. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think that's her trajectory. I think
Hopefully
she's been
not.
quite firm about that.
That's good. You said she didn't want to move to LA, right?
I'm pretty sure she's not moving to LA.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what I seem to remember. But as I did with the Michael Jackson interview, and not being Christian Guru Murthy, I tend to imagine things.
Jan's going to comment with her address in Los Angeles.
See, I told you. Stop fucking it up. Yeah, I don't know. I just wondered. I'd like to know what her thinking was behind that, because there's a lot of weight behind her in terms of her performances and the accolades, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I can imagine. I just find that impressive.
So,
You know,
yeah.
as someone that's only made a short film, you know, and worked. I found it daunting working with someone who was just an actor generally.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
the idea
yeah.
of being, you know, like 16 years younger and working with established actors. It's daunting, but very impressive.
It is impressive. Yeah. Fair play to you, Kane. I don't.
Script writing needs work. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. I hope that. I'm interested to see what he does next. Personally, I'd prefer if he sort of left that film as is. I think the plan is for him to do like a series of it or something.
Oh no.
No, I think you should explore something else, mate.
Yeah, I think the more time you spend with that, the less effective it will be.
It will be diminishing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Happy to be proved wrong.
Yeah, same.
But I
Always.
just feel that, like, I thought that concept was running out of steam a little bit towards the end.
Yes.
And I think the inclusion of that kind of creature, the manifestation of his kind of, his all of his anxieties and self-loathing and all that.
That was a turning point. And
That was a turning point. And that, to me, is someone saying, okay, these liminal spaces, it's interesting, but I'm bored now. Throw a monster in there, you know?
That's it.
So, yeah, I'm slightly concerned about that. Back to some of the stuff I wasn't as keen on. I thought there were moments, a lot of kind of like classic sort of visual stuff. Like, so she has that concrete, the imprint of her hand that she put outside her house.
Yeah.
And she's haunted by, obviously, these memories of an agoraphobic, mentally unstable mother. That plays throughout the film. I thought that was quite interesting, and I think it worked in the kind of context of the broader themes of the film. But
The object
is obviously like a constant visual metaphor that seems to, she takes it everywhere with her, apparently. There's some bit of concrete in her pocket, you know.
There was an editing choice which I thought was really stupid, where you know how he draws the map and shows it to her?
Yeah.
And then she sees the same map on the whiteboard. I
heard you go, no.
Yeah. I was like, you don't need to cut back to it. It was like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, you try to insult my intelligence. I know, I remember
That's
that
definitely
moment.
a note, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
From some twat.
Yeah.
I agree.
A20 twat.
A20 twat. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Keep that.
Keep it in. Yeah.
Keep it in. No, yeah. That was a bit just like, you almost lost me there. And luckily, like the sort of the good stuff that preceded it, I kind of, on good faith, I was like, I'll move on, and I won't complain about it. Apart from on a podcast, yeah.
They definitely won't watch anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Again, bitter.
That's all right.
Yeah, bitter. No. I thought, that was naff. I thought it was, but then I think that is more stuff that is just. Perhaps you just have to accept that you're going to have to do that.
Yeah, if you're going to be
making movies and you're not, particularly if you're not tried and tested, quote unquote, you know,
the audience is going to be younger and therefore more susceptible to their attention being diverted. Maybe, well,
that's the assumption I think that that sort of studio heads bring to the fore when they're giving notes about, you know, do the audience know exactly what's happening all the time now?
Yeah.
God forbid there's like a bit of confusion. Jesus Christ, you know.
What does the whiteboard mean?
Yeah. Hang on. Don't worry.
Oh, It's okay. It's the map, right?
The map he
Thank
drew.
you very much.
Yeah, yeah.
Now let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah,
By no means a perfect film.
And I knew that concrete hand thing was going to be deployed in some fashion. Just gets used to smash that sort of pirate monster's face in.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of a metaphor, I suppose, for her letting go and using her own trauma against the trauma of another person. Like, yeah, I don't think it needs to be in there. I think the film worked fine without it. You could tell by her performance alone that she was slightly troubled, and then obviously the kind of the flashbacks to her own past served that absolutely fine. You didn't need the object, didn't need to bring it in.
No, or have it once,
yeah,
and then maybe just have the confidence in it to be in the background.
Yeah, if you were going looking for someone, a patient of yours, would you want to put something that heavy in your bag or pocket?
I guess maybe the counter argument would be something she needs to have with her at all times for some reason.
Maybe
there's
That's
some
true.
really kind of sophisticated psychological answer for it that we just obviously, because we're ignorant to that, don't know.
Yeah, you played devil's advocate there. I liked it. It was good. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, brilliant.
No, I mean, yeah, good movie,
great,
but
fantastic. Right, let's go. Yeah, but I personally feel like it's just a Hollywood narrative thing that's just annoying, but you kind of have to tolerate it given the circumstances of the film.
There are moments like that.
There are quite a few moments like that in this film, but I don't think that's something to level at him.
No,
personally, and that's kind of, I think it's more just an industry thing, as I've said.
But,
yeah, I thought the script was a bit naff at points as well. I thought the conversation between the two of them had a really cool end moment, but I thought the building up stuff was a bit ropey.
Yeah.
It's almost like characters laying everything on the table.
Got to provide us with
not in a way that feels authentic.
Yeah,
it just felt like, keep the audience up to speed here. I
Screenwriting.
thought his sort of transformation into a sort of almost
like a husk.
Like somebody. I mean, I guess you could just chalk that down to the being in liminal spacing, and obviously, it's a film. It's a horror film. You don't have to have all. It doesn't have to be. But I just felt that transition, just from a narrative point of view, a little bit too quick.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. He went from being quite sort of scared and curious about this place to being entirely enveloped by it very quickly. Yeah.
There
we go. Good movie.
Yeah, I liked it actually. I
was pleasantly surprised, and I didn't think the third act was as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse.
It could have really devolved into like horror tropiness, and it didn't. But no,
I guess because it's kind of an A24 thing in itself now, isn't it? Which is like something I really liked at the start, is that the film just devolved into like madness by the end. Obviously, like Ari Aster, and did a lot of that.
The Substance. I don't even know if that was A24, but
Mubi, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was it Mubi?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was on Mubi anyway.
Was it A24 and Mubi?
Possibly. It was one of these companies anyway.
Yeah, the ending of that film is not very good, I didn't think.
Hot take.
Yeah. We did an episode on it, so you can listen to that if you want. But I just I think this penchant for that style of storytelling is getting a bit tired.
Yeah.
So I quite liked that this film had that moment that it went quiet again. Obviously, one of the Duplass brothers turns up.
Yes.
Which I quite liked. Again, he has
he's
obviously his own kind of mumblecore, and all that kind of stuff. He's comes from that kind of scrappily sort of into forcing himself into the industry, albeit through a different method of technology.
Yes.
I actually watched Baghead the other day.
Oh, that's one of his, isn't it? Yeah.
I quite like that, actually.
I like a few of those films.
Yeah, I like them. I do.
They're very watchable considering how fast they were made. It's just impressive in and of itself, that whole mumblecore thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, good stuff. Yeah, no, keep doing that.
Yeah, no. Outro?
Yes, please. save me. And them.
Questing the cinematic void.
There we have it then. Backrooms. Yeah. I am curious to see what Kane Parsons does next. I'm also very curious to watch Obsession, and I'm probably going to watch a couple of the other. Like I might even watch Iron Lung, just to see how it holds up.
I hear a lot of people heaping praise and obsession.
Yes, including the IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes scores are way higher than Backrooms. It's made a lot. Both films have made a lot of money, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week?
For their careers and industry, not for the people who, for rich people who.
No. Who will probably take 90% of the shares or whatever,
and then use it for Madagascar 17 or whatever number of shit.
Minions versus Grogu. Yeah.
Minions versus. I thought you were going to say something else. Like, I don't know.
Kane Parsons. No. Minions versus Austin Powers.
Michael Miles will probably do it, especially if that fucking produced Graham King's involved.
Graham King, he's like,
can you play the exact same character in both of those films, but fighting minions? Is that all right?
Do I get a separate paycheck?
You will. £38 million.
I'm in. Where do I sign? What are we doing next week?
Well, we're going rogue.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. No.
Not my Star Wars. No, we're going for Scary Movie 5.
5, 6, 7. I think it's 7.
Fucking knows. I keep saying 5. I don't know why.
Yes.
Intrigued about this. I know it's going to probably be absolutely shite. But what interests me about this film is that it's coming out in a very different time to the originals came out.
Yeah. The spoof genre.
Yeah, so the spoof genre had a very limited period of success.
Commercially, not even critically. It was like straight out of the gate, derided critically.
Yeah. But I remember, like, particularly the first one being one of those films that everyone spoke about at school.
Yeah. Second one as well.
You're all morons, but, like...
Base pleasures.
Yeah. And kind of very cheap, lowest common denominator kind of satire of the kind of dominant horror films of the time.
Yep.
I think it's interesting now, given that horror films tend to be a lot more introspective of the genre now than they ever have been.
Okay, yeah.
I think that kind of the shadow makes it sound negative, but the sort of Wes Craven effect hangs over these films.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I also think that the film is coming out, it seems to be framing itself as, if you get offended, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Which I hate. I think that's one of the lamest things. I hate it. Comedians do it. I hate it. Anyone in
the Gervais thing. Right?
Yeah, I just think it's really lame and can't say anything.
Yeah.
How big's your house, Ricky?
Yeah.
How big's your house? So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm intrigued by that. I'm intrigued by how this film is going to sort of situate its kind of very kind of base level humor in this kind of new cultural landscape.
Yep.
It seems to me that it's, as I've said, marketing wise, to be a film that's railing against that. So
absolutely, yeah.
I think it's an interesting point of discussion there. We can talk about Scary Movie. We can talk about spoof.
Yeah.
Pastiche.
Quite keen on that.
Yeah.
Do Naked Gun and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, there you go. Straight away, I'm back in. There's a reason for it now, a good reason. Get to talk about one of my all-time favourites.
Perfect.
On the subject of all-time favourites.
All-time favourites.
Don't worry, there's no tea in it. I did spill tea over before the episode. Clumsy boy. The Cinebois watch-along. The results are in, the final.
What is
Commando.
it? Commando 1 out. Commando V 28 days later. Commando was the clear winner.
We said Commando 1 as if there's
a sequel, yeah. Commando.
That's quite good.
What was the Spanish word for 2?
DOS.
Yeah. Commando DOS. No. Yeah. The clear winner by quite a wide margin. Actually.
I was kind of surprised by it. I think it's because a lot of people, knowing our brand, for those listening, I'm doing the finger thing because I feel a bit sick that I've said that. Know that that's probably the kind of film that we would end up doing anyway.
Okay.
We'd probably end up picking that film at some point.
It would be, yeah.
So maybe that's why. But so we're going to be doing that very shortly, possibly even today.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I was sort of saying to you as we were setting up that Commando and Naked Gun are the 2 films I've seen more than any other film.
The most, okay.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, 28 Days Later is one of mine.
Oh, really? That's really interesting. I ended up like that.
But there we go.
Yeah. So we're going to do the watch along. I think the way we're going to do it is we'll do like a 5-10 minute introduction.
Yeah.
And then we'll just, if you're insane enough to want to listen to us talk as you watch the film.
Yeah, we'll have to say, press play now.
I guess maybe put a time code underneath.
Oh, are we doing video, are we? I suppose we would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. See how it goes, eh?
Cool.
In the meantime, thank you for getting to another episode.
Thank you.
We will see you in the next one. Scream 5,
Scream 5,
whatever.
6, 7.
And in the the internet me.
Oh, man.
I nearly did the hand
In
thing
the
there.
meantime.
Nearly did the hand thing there.
Oh.
I just had to fight it, even though I know it's bad. I don't know what it is.
Keir Starmer did it, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
He'll do anything though, won't he? Whore himself to anything to appeal like a human being. God, this isn't political podcast.
No.
Who do you think I am? Darby's Ian Hislop. Yeah, see you later. Best of luck to you.
Cheers.
If you've got anything that requires you to be lucky in. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.